We've got our Springbok team to take on Italy in the second game of the series at Nelson Mandela Bay Stadium, and there's a bunch of changes. And are we surprised? Probably not, because we were absolutely trash in that second half of the first game. Now, before we get into the team, I obviously didn't do a review of the game. Just a couple of talking points. Like, to be fair, I know there's a bunch of people that have been very harsh on the team, saying that the bomb squad has kind of been diffused. But I thought the first half was excellent. I think we ended the first half on like 19-0, if I'm not mistaken, or something like that. I was very impressed by the team in the first half. I just thought we were clinical enough. We had more than enough ball control and stuff. But then when the second half came and the bomb squad came on, it just felt like a lackluster performance. There was no intensity really in the game. And you heard it from Rassie's statements in the post-match press conference. Like, he was hard on the boys as well. I think most of the country were probably hard on the boys. Like, just felt a bit complacent. Like, a couple of guys, they kind of wrote off Italy. And I know you shouldn't look at the game like this, but Italy won the second 40 minutes. Right? They won the second 40 minutes. And to be fair, if you have to look at the Jesse Kriel try, I think it was the first try of the game, he was in front of the kicker. If you don't think he was in front of the kicker, open your eyes, right? Because he was clearly in front. Massive head start on it. So you have to deduct that as well, which means that the score isn't 42-24. It could have been like 35-24. And all of a sudden you're like, well, we have to put Italy away with more than 11 points, right? They're traveling down here. I know it's an Italian team that's kind of been building for a good few seasons now. It's a team that they've upset Wales. They pull up a good victory, or not a good victory, a good performance against Ireland and stuff. But I mean, it's not a full strength team. We've got guys that are still experienced. We had a mixture of experience and youngsters coming through. Our standard would be that we put up better performances than that. So obviously that's the expectation for this game. Now, we've gone with a very inexperienced team, if you could say it like that, or not a bunch of chemistry necessarily out there, but it's an exciting team that we're going to put out there. So I'm not going to be too harsh on the boys, because we know what we can do. We saw the performance against the Barbarians. Everyone's going to have a bit of an off day. I mean, you could say the exact same for the All Blacks taking on the French. Now, obviously, it's not the same. The French are a very talented team. They're one of the best teams in the world, and the All Blacks kind of knew that. They just don't have their stars. But it didn't feel like the best game necessarily for New Zealand. So it happens to the best of us, right? You get these off days. And I mean, it was literally an off 40 minutes. Basically, that's what it boils down to. But anyway, with that being said, and with us being harsh on the team and those type of things, I'm not going to look into that too much. We're focusing on this weekend. We've got our starting 15 and obviously our 5-3 split on the bench announced today. Starting off with Thomas du Toit, Malcolm Marx and Wilco Louw. Thomas du Toit is probably the best prop in the world on form, and he hardly ever plays for his country, right? I mean, he's got a play of the season for the Prem 2 seasons ago. He got play of the season for Bath last season. He's been a try-scoring machine. I think he was top try-scoring in both seasons for Bath, which is ridiculous. I'm talking out of my arse there, but I think I read that stat somewhere. Like, he's on some crazy form. He's obviously a massive guy. Like, you're not going to scrum this guy back. Partnering him with Malcolm Marx and then Wilco Louw. Is that the biggest front row in the world? Is that the biggest front row that you've ever seen? Right, that is the most dangerous scrummaging pairing that you'll ever see. Because Wilco Louw, if there's one thing a lot of people has been talking about, his defense and whatever. If there's one thing that Wilco does, it's fucking scrum. That's what Wilco does. That is his job. Right? And then the same goes for Thomas du Toit. He obviously offers you a bit more around the park. Malcolm Marx, obviously, in South African opinion, the best hooker to ever play the game. Right? So that is a beautiful, beautiful on-form front row for us. Going into the locks, we got Salman Murat, Captain Salman Murat this game, and then Ruan Orkia. Two youngsters, kind of youngsters, or inexperienced guys when it comes to the international setup. I can't remember the last time that we actually went through a match without any of Eben Etzebeth, Lore Jager, Franco Mostert, or Ergie Snyman. I can't remember the last time that we ever saw a team without any of those four names. I'm very excited for these guys. Obviously, Ruan Orkia, he's been playing a bit of Lucy for the Bulls, but he's kind of just bursted onto the scene last season, got his debut for the Boks as well when Franco Mostert was out, and kind of to the effect where it felt like we don't even miss Franco Mostert. That, not taking away from Franco Mostert, he was just that good, and he had a sensational season for the Bulls as well. By the way, the Bulls announced like 10 signings today, which is crazy to think about. They're a team on a mission. They even sacked Jake White, right? Like, the Bulls out here making moves, right? But massive game for the two of them. I know a lot of people jumps on the case of Salman Murad, but you have to admit that this season for the Stormers, when he's been fit, especially at the end of the season, I thought he upped his game 10 times. I was really impressed by Salman Murad. It felt like he kind of got that confidence to actually carry the ball into the tackle. I saw a comment from someone on the Springboks page where they're like, Salman Murad's influence on this game. 0 tackles made, 0 meters gained, 1 HIA. And it's like, it just feels so rude, but I had a good laugh at it. But he's going to have a massive game. He needs to have a massive game in the Bok jersey as well to kind of cement why he's been picked. Like, you can kind of take the evidence of the Springbok performance, the Stormers' performances lately, that he deserves it. But we want him to perform on the big scene. It was obviously when I grew up at school level. So that was like, what, 10 years ago now, right? 25, yeah, about 15 then I think he was matric then, or something like that, whatever. Everyone was talking about Salman Murad. So now you want to see that Salman coming into the international season and making his mark. Going into the loosies, we've got Marco van Staden, Pieter Steff to tackle returns, and then Jasper Wiese. If you told me we're going to play the Barbarians, Italy, and then Italy again, and the guy with the most minutes from all 3 of those games was going to be Marco van Staden, I would have laughed you out of the room. It was like my least expected thing to happen. Like, he's not even been playing for the Bulls. Here he is, right? And he's been playing great. Right? I don't want to take anything away from Michael van Staden. I just didn't expect it to happen. But he's been playing sensational rugby. I just thought, okay, well, obviously John-Luc du Preez is probably still, I think his wife is giving birth. That's why he's not there. It's not because of a HI or anything like that. Obviously, Siya Kolisi is still injured. So you're kind of thinking, who's going to play in that 6th role? We could have even seen the likes of a Kobus Wiese maybe going in there, or Roan Orkia playing as a Lucy, Franco Mossert. But Rassie said, listen, fuck it, we'll back Marco van Staden. And that's what he's done. Right, like, back your boys. There you go. And he's been playing great, as I mentioned. So he deserves to be there. Also the fetcher, Malcolm Marx and Marco van Staden as the fetchers on the field. I'm not going to moan about it. Pieter Steff to tackle. Finally, we get to see him again. Obviously, he plays in Japan, so we don't see too much of him there. He was announced in the team or in the squad before the Barbarians game. Got injured, but they said he'll be back for the 2nd game against Italy. Here he is, the current, reigning, defending player of the year in rugby. No better sight to see than a beautiful little Pieter Steff to tackle. And then Jasper Wiese, no surprises there really. I know a couple of people maybe thought we'll see the likes of Evan Roos, but in the end, Jasper Wiese has just come back from injury. When you've got a guy that's just come back from injury, the one thing that he needs, game time, consistency, and that's what we're obviously going to offer him to put him back in that 8 jersey. So no qualms with the forwards. Absolutely love it. There's guys that need to prove a point, and there's other guys coming right back from injury. So give them all game time, right? That's all you can ask for. 9-10 combo, one of the most sexy things you'll see. Grant Williams and Manie Libbok. And it's this strange phenomenon, right, where I've kind of backed Manie all the way through. Got a lot of shit on it in the comment sections of YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, whatever, right? Got a lot of shit for it. And then finally when I was like, okay, well, now I just want to see Sasha and Andre. Now we pick Manie, and people in the comment sections of like Safas Unscripted, all the other social platforms, they're like, well, Manie's better than Andre. And I'm like, well, I never said Manie's better than Andre. I just love what Manie offers you on the field. And he's been playing great, right? Like, he has been playing great. So I love the 9-10 combo of Grant and Manie. It will be interesting to see the fitness levels of Grant. Obviously just coming back from injury as well. But that is fluidity throughout. That is Tony Brown-esque, right? Whether it's Manie or Sasha, both of them can play in that Tony Brown system. But there you go. We got it. 12-13 combo, Andre Esterhuizen, fully deserved. Surprised he doesn't play at the flanker position. And then Kainan Moody at 13. Now, it's the weird thing with Kainan Moody, where he was super impressive. And I know everyone was calling for him at 13. And he got the opportunity, and he played against the All Blacks at 13 in the 2023, right before the World Cup, that warm-up game at Twickenham. And I thought he was outstanding. Like, really, really good. But then since that game, well, that was like a one-off game, because since then, whether it was for the Stormers, for the Bulls, or for the Springboks, he hasn't impressed me too much. There wasn't really too much to talk about with him in that 13 jersey. I thought he's always been a sensational winger, right? There's no question about that. So it will be really interesting to see how he kind of gets back into that 13 jersey. Obviously, I think he would have played wing if it wasn't for Makazole Mapimpi and Edwin van der Merwe, who can only play those two positions. I wonder if we'll obviously get to the bench in a second, but if Ethan Hooker maybe comes onto that 13 role and then Kainan goes out to the wing, or if it's just a straight swap. But yeah, I'm expecting a massive game for Kainan Moody. Needs to deliver in that 13 jersey. He's obviously kind of got a position locked down on the wing, because whether it's Colby or Arendse that's not available, my next choice is going to be Kainan. He just offers you so much. Big, strong boy, tall, gets the work done. He's got serious pace. I mean, since Jake White told him to get off the buffet, he's got off the buffet seriously, and he's really like kind of grown into this maturity role that he played for the Bulls. He's just been phenomenal, right? So all love and respect to Kainan as a winger. So I want to see him get that love and respect as a 13 as well. Obviously, Makazole Mapimpi, expect him to score about 2 tries. Every time this guy plays, he just scores tries. And then Edwin van der Merwe. Is this Edwin van der Merwe's first cap as a Springbok? Or did that Wales game count as a cap? I can't remember him putting on the green and gold other than that. Unless I'm just forgetting something. But yeah, excited to see him once again. And then obviously the talking point, there you go. We've got Willie Leroux making his 100th cap. And whatever you want to say about him, I think Willie is one of the most overhated guys in the world. But he deserves his 100 caps. He's been a phenomenal servant to the game. He's missed a fine wine. He's still been playing for the Bulls and probably been one of their players of the season. He's just that good. He just sees the game differently. If you listen to the players, what they say in the press conferences, what they talk about this guy is just the way that he reads the game, sees the game. He coaches, for instance, Damian Willems, Apelile Fassi, both have said that they've learned a ton from Willie Leroux. So, I mean, what more can you ask for? This guy, he's been great for us, deserves 100 tests. Congratulations to him. And then you've got a 5-3 split on the bench, and we spoke about this a few weeks ago. Jan-Hendrik Wessels, Oxenche, Asenati and Klabakani. We've got 3 props on the bench, but obviously Rassie showed this in the game against Argentina last season, where Jan-Hendrik Wessels played as a hooker. He's going to come on as a hooker again this weekend. Excited to see what he does there. Kind of just cementing his place in the 23 for the Boks, whether it's going to be as a hooker or as a prop. I really wanted to see get another look at Marnus van der Merwe, but I reckon we'll probably see that next weekend. Maybe a Bongi Benambi and a Marnus van der Merwe will be playing against Georgia. Ox the steamroller and chair. There you go. No need to say anything about him. And then a first official cap for Asenati and Klabakanya. Very well deserved. Spoke about him against Barbarians. His scrummaging was great. He's lost about 18 kilograms to get to 141. And I mean, deserve it. There's nothing really more that I could say about it. I mean, he had a funny moment when he ran out of the tunnel, tripped over something and then fell. But I mean, that's vibes, right? And now he gets his first cap. There you go. Kobus Visa to join his brother, also a debutant. How many brothers has played for the Boks? How many brothers have played together for the Boks is another question. If anyone can tell me that stat, please do. But he's been sensational for the Bulls. Like when I made a video a little while ago where I spoke about players that we want to see play for the Springboks, and it was filled with Kobus Visa. Kobus Visa was everywhere. They played him from lock to 6, 7 or 8. That's how good he's been, right? And then obviously, for me, I've been talking about him for a while. I know a lot of people don't like him. I love Jovan Roos. I know he had a shaky 2 seasons ago. He had a great season when he burst onto the scene, then kind of fell off for a season. Discipline was a bit of an issue. But the past 2 seasons, he's been phenomenal. I don't care what you say, he deserves it. He's cleaned up his discipline. He's been there to do the grunt and dirty work. You always need those players that do the grunt and dirty work. He's made his tackles. He's still a hard carrier of the ball. He gets over the ball to get the turnovers as well. Jovan Roos deserves it. Will be interesting to see whether he goes on as an 8th man to replace Jasper Wiese, or we maybe see him in that 6 jersey, maybe even 7 if you want to take off Pieter Steff to tackle. But yeah, that rounds off the forwards that's on the bench. And then finally, Kobus Reinach and Sasha Feinberg and Gomezulu. I mean, if Grant Williams and Marnie Lubbock gives you a boner, this one will make the pants sit even a bit tighter. Kobus Reinach and Sasha Feinberg and Gomezulu, the next season Stormers pairing as well. I mean, that's flair, that's danger, individual danger, pairing danger. spreading the ball to others, danger. That is chaos right there. And then obviously we've spoke about this, players to watch. In my opinion, he should have been URC player of the season when it comes down to the South Africans. Ethan Hooker. He has to go onto outside centre. Please, just as an outside centre, put him in there. He's the reincarnation of Jesse Creel. He's so good. Every time he touches the ball, it's danger. So, big game for him. Hopefully he gets a couple of minutes. I don't want to see him get about 10 minutes or something. Bring him on with like 30 minutes to go. Sometime to really get into the game and then kind of just set fire to it all. That's the big thing, right? Like when it comes to the bench, I've seen a couple of other people, go watch it on Saffers Unscripted. We interviewed a couple of fans and a bunch of them said, listen, the bomb squad comes on too early. And I want to know your opinion about that. Should we keep on doing this thing where we bring on the bomb squad at about 45 minutes? Or do you just think that takes away from it a bit? We can sub off our front row maybe at 45 to 50 minutes and then bring on the locks a bit later to really go at the tired bodies. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think about it. Please do remember to hit that like and subscribe button. I do appreciate you guys and I will see you next time. Ciao.